guys, well, hope you all had a good New Year's out there. Mine was good. I was home in bed at midnight. Anyway, so here we are. I want to make sure I got lots of sleep because it's New Year's Day and I want to work on my car. As you can see in the last video we left off, I showed you the body had been painted. I painted the firewall and now I've got the frame rolled in here and I'm going to continue with the frame. Those of you that don't remember, because I know these videos are so scattered, you know, I don't get a lot of time to work on my own shit, so you're going to have to go back to my new subscribers and just look up Rick's 58 Ford. Those of you that don't remember, it's 58 Ford two-door post. I've left the frame stock. Every single thing on the frame for suspension and that is new. I've lowered it 2 inches in the front. It's got the factory drum brakes on it, which there's nothing wrong with. I put a power assist is what I'm going to be putting on it with a dual master cylinder. I did upgrade a little bit. I put a nice little 302 in here with 325 horse with a C4 automatic with a shift kit behind it. What else can I tell you? I got the factory 9-inch posi in the back, all rebuilt. And basically today I'm going to be running some fuel lines and brake lines on the frame. I may as well do it before I put the body back down. It's just going to be a little easier to do it now. That's about all I can tell you. So we're going to plug away on this, see how far we get today. And we'll just take it from there. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm just getting my brake lines out right now. I'm getting all my fancy little clamps and stuff out, as you can see right there. I've got some, these are the gas clamps. I bought these, they're stainless, I know. What are you doing, Rick? I'm not a show car kind of guy, right? But you know what? There's ones for the brake lines in the baggie there. They were stainless, they'll go on there. Stainless doesn't rust, what the hell? And I thought I may as well put those on. I tried to keep everything looking nice and clean, because this car is going to be up for sale. Now I'm a hoarder, I don't sell anything, but I'm going to put this car up for sale, and by no means am I going to give the fucking thing away, but it will be up for sale only because as some of my original subscribers have seen, you know, I've been doing this for many years. I started this business in 03, so 14 years now, and it's gotten quite busy for us and we need to expand the shop out a bit. So I want to build onto the shop this spring, summer. And to do that you need money. And I'm a cash guy. I am a debt-free guy. I don't owe anything to anyone. I'm just debt-free. That's the way I like my life. I'm not by no means a millionaire. I mean, I'm put it this way. I'm cash poor, but I'm asset rich. You know, I'm on a nice piece of land here and everything I own is paid for. But I'm going to put this car up for sale because it's probably, you know, unfortunately, I love it. But if I have to choose through all 8 of my cars, it's the one that I would choose to sell first out of all 8 of them. So I'm going to put it for sale. If it sells, great. It means I get to build onto the shop even sooner and get some of it done. If it doesn't sell, then I really don't give a shit because I'm not selling it because I need money. It just means that I have to save up longer to do the building I want to do outside there. Which is fine too, because like I said, I don't like selling nothing. You guys look around in the background here, and all my videos, if you're paying attention rather than just to myself and what we're working on, take a look at the background shots of all the shit I've got. I do not sell anything, and I tell people that all the time. I get a lot of people that come here and they get pissed off at me because they're like, hey, you got like 5 or 6 55, 56 Packard taillights with the quarter panels on there. Do you want to sell them? And I'm like, no. Well, I'll give you $500 or $600 for them. I'm like, no. But you got 5 or 6 pair. Yeah, I don't care. I go to all the swap meets, I've tracked all this stuff down, I've bought it, and I bought it for a reason, because I like to customize cars, I like to play with cars, which you guys haven't seen too much of yet, but that's the whole idea why I brought another body man and brought another welder in, so I can start to take a couple days a week off to start building stuff like that for myself to sell, maybe to a guy like you. But yeah, so I'm a hoarder, so to sell this car is quite amazing. But like I say, if it sells, it sells, and if it don't, like I say, I really don't care because it'd be pretty cool to have a 58 Ford two-door post sitting in the driveway along with all my other rides. So anyway, I'm going to get to it here, put a few things together, and that's about it. Hope all you guys had a good New Year's, and this is what I'm doing in the shop today. I got the 50s on, Sirius radio, the 50 station, and going to be cracking myself open a Coca-Cola in the glass bottle here pretty soon. I'm going to be getting to it. So, that's it. So I'll clip the camera back on when I get going here, and we'll give you a few more shots of what's happening. know, I don't think there's anything more satisfying than doing a job and just doing it yourself, you know. It's just very satisfying to do something, whether you're into cars or woodworking or electrical or I don't know, even whatever it is. There's just nothing more satisfying than, you know, just having a day to yourself and just doing something and sitting back at the end of the day and looking at it and being like, wow. I mean, yeah. So I got the brake lines ran, the back brake lines across the diff, and I ran the brake lines from. Well, here, why don't we just grab the camera here and show you what's going on so far. So I basically have. Let me get in here. As you can see, I've ran the steel brake line up and over and along. I've tucked it in nice and neat. I've used our stainless clamps down in here, and I've ran it up to the front half of the vehicle here, and then of course I don't know if you can see from the back end here, but I've got the brake lines around across the diff. I still got to put this one. I still got right where my finger's pointing. I got to tie that one over there on that little clip on the diff. But what I'm doing right now is before I get carried away, you can see this is a factory clamp on the frame, and then it runs down here. This is where the gas lines were originally. Now on most cars, you will notice that usually they run the gas lines on the outside of the frame, just for the fact that they feel it's safer, because usually your exhaust runs on the inside. But guys have ran gas lines on the inside too, as long as they're tied up and they're clear of the exhaust. You know, you don't want the gas line sitting like an inch or two away from the exhaust. You want to keep it quite a ways away. So I'm not necessarily saying you have to run them on the outside, but you know, cars usually are ran on the outside of the frame rail. So before I got carried away, I was just about to set the frame down here. I mean the body down on the frame, and then I thought, you know what, I better figure out these gas line situations, because this frame, if you look up underneath here on my rocker, you can see where the body mount lands. So your frame is going to land roughly in this area. Well, the outside of the frame, it doesn't give you much room between the rocker and that, so I'm going to have to run my fuel lines. I'm going to have to run those now, get them plumbed in. So I went and grabbed my gas tank, which was not a problem. I knew where it was. But do you think I could find the sending unit? No. Should have been where the gas tank was, but it wasn't. Because my basement is so full of shit with car parts, I don't know what the hell's going on down there. And I was actually surprised as I grabbed the gas tank. I was actually surprised to see this right here. This is something we never see in Canada. You see what that decal says? It says made in Canada. God, that's amazing. I mean, what the hell's going on there? But anyway, so that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to get my sending unit plopped in the tank. I'm going to situate where I think the line should run them along the frame there, and figure out where I got to go from the back, and yeah, then we'll just go from there. So things are coming together. It is definitely coming together. So yeah, we'll just get back at you here. I think I am ready to put the body onto the frame. I'll show you what I've got done here. Bring this camera around. So I've ran my gas lines. Now what I did, obviously you didn't see it in the video, I've lined up where my gas line is going to go. This is where I've stopped it, and I've got my flared end, because when the body's down, on the frame, the gas tank is sitting within this area. And usually what I do, I flare the end up, I put a piece of rubber hose on it, and I put an inline fuel filter here. And of course, if we go up underneath the car, if we look, the tank is going to sit up in this area here. You can see the hole where the sending unit, you can get to it through the trunk. So the tank is going to be in this area. If you look at this cross frame, that's where the straps will come off and go that way. This line will line up with this cross frame, and it's going to go in the tank that way. So what I'll do is I will make a bracket off of there, and I will hang an inline fuel filter there. I like to put it close to the tank, so if there's any shit in the tank, it grabs it, it's right there. It's easy, it's accessible. I do it to all my own cars plus customer cars. So if something happens, the guy just, basically most cars, you just crawl underneath the back, go up underneath the gas tank, and there's a fuel filter, and you can take a look, and there you go. And that's what my plan is right there. So I'm going to rubber hose it from this point on, because at the other end of the gas tank, it's got the flared end coming off it too. So we're going to have like a, I don't know, maybe a 12-inch to an 18-inch piece of rubber hose there, which is fine. Now, what I use just for some of you guys knowing, there's different types of gas line out there. I'm sure some of you other guys are going to tell me there's even other ones. I don't buy just a regular gas hose. I usually buy the fuel injected gas hose. It's a stiffer hose, it's harder, less chance of collapsing. The gas hose you can buy nowadays, I don't know whether it's just getting cheaper or what it is, but gas hose isn't what it used to be. Nowadays, as gas hose gets older, it seems like, under load or something, if you're accelerating, I find that, especially in the hotter days, if it's getting soft, it tends to collapse and then your car is bogging out. So I use the higher pressure stuff. And it seems to work awesome. It might be a little more money, but it works good. So that's what kind of hose we're going to put there. Then what I did was I test fitted the body on the frame, which you never got to see, because factory, these gas lines ran up over top here. So I just wanted to make sure that that was correct. So this is nothing, I got to get this off of there. But anyway, whoops, anyway, you can see I put the nice stainless clamps on. This is where the original one would have went, but anyway, it's all good. I've ran them down the frame line. Now what I did here was, normally they had this gas line running and then it ran up and kind of bent around this mount and then went over along here through the frame, through the body mount supports. I drilled a hole through here, and of course a good idea again is get yourself a piece of hose, splice it down the center, slip it over top. The reason for that is that this line over the years, which it would take a long time, but if it's vibrating around in there, which I tie them up really good, but if it was vibrating around, there's a chance that metal on metal could rub, could put a hole through it. So I put a piece of rubber hose through there. So it's a steel line going through with a split piece of hose over top, just a protector. And I've ran it all the way up into here, and then of course it runs along and hooks right into my fuel pump. Now you could also put an inline filter here if you want also. That's kind of up to you. I just always run them at the back. I don't know why I like to run them at the back. Every single build I do, I always put the fuel filter just closer to the tank. I just believe in my eyes that the further the filter is away from the tank, the more chance of getting shit stuck up in the lines too. And we all know what it's like when you get shit in the gas. I mean, oh my God, this can become a real nightmare, right? So that's it. Realistically, some people will run a filter between the carburetor and the fuel pump. At the end of the day, the fuel filter should always be before the fuel pump. It should be, because the shit that you get up through the lines, if you do it the other way, it's going to get into the fuel pump also. So you really should run the filter before the fuel pump. And if you're really worried about it, it's not a problem to run another one between the carb and the fuel pump. And but most carburetors have a filter already built in them anyway. So anyway, I'm going to go on to try and get the body now lined up on the frame here, and we'll take it from there. So we'll be right back and we'll show you, hopefully, the body bolted down, or at least sitting on the frame. Okay. Everything is lining up perfect. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Okay. That might have to go back here. Alright. That is looking awesome. Holy shit. Fuck, it looks like a car again. It's looking good. Awesome. Awesome, it's getting there. Well, we'll go around and check all the mount holes, make sure everything's kind of lined up good. Kind of got it on the first shot there, so that was excellent. I'll crawl under it and make sure everything's looking good, and then we'll get the camera back on for you guys, and hopefully I can actually take the hoist off the body and put it on the frame and lift it up that way and start to see what goes on here. But yeah, wow, that's a good New Year. Okay guys, well I think that's about it for today. I think I'm going to head in that was a good day. The body is now bolted down on the frame. I still got to tighten it up a bit, snug it down, but the key to the body too when you're doing it, don't go around and tighten like one super tight. You know, I kind of start in the center and kind of work my way out. You know, I'll do one, you know, on either side. I'll start in the center, do one on one side, go to the other side, then I'll kind of go kitty corner. And I never snug them down, like I don't snug one down at first and leave it like that. I just kind of, I tighten them all equally until finally I'm happy with it. But there it is, it looks damn good. I'm actually glad, because if I remember correctly, I could have swore that the engines in these things sat a little more forward away from the firewall, and I really don't like that look. So I'm glad the engine is actually tucked up in here pretty good. It's been a while since I've done one of these V8 swaps in these 57 to 59 Fords, so I couldn't remember. Like I was saying in one of my earlier videos, the 302 and the C4 automatic basically bolt right in these cars. There's really not much you have to modify. Buy some early Mustang mounts, and they bolt right up to your factory hole down in below there where your engine mount is. And then as far as it goes for oil pan, you get an oil pan and a sump, again off early Mustang or something like that, and it clears the cross member. And as far as your transmission goes, if you're running a C4 automatic, you use the factory tranny mount that's in these cars, and you just have to basically oblong the hole out like a ½ an inch back, and the actual mount that's on the transmission with the one stud on it drops right into the factory tranny crossmember mount on these cars. So they're a nice little V8 conversion. They just go right in there. It would have been nice to have a Y block in here. I wanted to do up a 312. I really wanted to do up a little crazy 312 and put it in there. I wanted to keep it old school. But again, you know, you're looking for something, and when you're looking for something, you can never fucking find it. And then, you know, this engine came along, and it was a low miler, and of course, I could have put it in the way it was, but I didn't, which I never do. I took it apart. Next thing you know, the engine's all redone. So anyway, then of course I went this route with the 302. And then of course now I look online and I see 312s all over the place. But anyway, such is life. It's all good. But that's it, man. That's it for today. We'll get back to you later on in life and show you what else goes on. But there she is. The 58 is a roller again. I think the next big thing is going to be getting my steering box. I'm going to go through the steering box and make sure it's all good. I think steering box back in it, and of course then I'm going to attack my gas tank here and get my gas tank put in it, and slowly work on it from there. Basically, the roof is the only thing left. We got to strip down to bare metal. There's no body work needed, but we'll strip it to bare metal and go over it, make sure it's good. The doors are going to come off now, and we'll do the doors. But everything else for this car is in final primer, ready to rock and roll. So I'm hoping to have this car on the road for April. So there you are, guys. Hey, thanks for watching, and hope you all had a good Christmas and a Happy New Year. Catch you later.